Good evening, everyone. As I said, my name is Nick, and I am the Community Outreach Officer here at JRS UK. And it's a great pleasure to have you all with us to celebrate Refugee Week and to hear from our open writing space for this very special open writing space showcase. It's going to be a wonderful event to mark Refugee Week. We celebrate Refugee Week each year around the 20th of June, which is World Refugee Day. It's an opportunity to recognise the contribution, the creativity, the resilience of refugees and people who have been forced to flee their homes in search of safety. And at JRS, we've always held some form of event to mark the week. Obviously, we'd love to be with you in person somewhere this evening for a recital or a showcase in person, but that's not been possible due to the events, as we all know. But we're very grateful that you've chosen to be with us on Zoom, and it might mean that some of you from a little further afield have been able to join us, which is wonderful if that's the case. So you're very, very welcome. And as I say, one of the things that we do celebrate during Refugee Week is the creativity of refugees, and that is certainly going to be the case tonight with our open writing space performing some of the work that they've been putting together over the past few weeks and months as they've been meeting together online through Zoom during the course of the pandemic. So we're going to also be celebrating something else, not just Refugee Week, but this event also marks the launch of our open writing space book. So all the work that our refugee friends have been working on together has been put together in a wonderful, wonderful book, published book. So they're all now published authors and poets, which is fantastic. So this is going to be a launch event for the book as well, something that is very exciting. So our book's called Home is a Feeling, Not a Place. It's going to be sold on the JRS website, and we'll give you more details later on as to where you can find that. And the proceeds will go to supporting the work of JRS and the activity groups and the sort of things that we've been doing to support and accompany our refugee friends during this very difficult time. Now, I'm not going to talk for too long because I'm aware we want to get underway with the show. So with that in mind, I would like to welcome Dallya, who is our Refugee Activity Coordinator at JRS, and Laila Sumpton, who's helped to facilitate the Open Writing Space group. Dallya, why don't you begin and just introduce yourself and explain a little bit about your role and what the Open Writing Space is all about.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Nick. It's me, Dallya Alhorri, the Refugees Activities Coordinator with JRS. I would like to say Happy Refugee Week to everyone. And this week meant a lot to everyone here. First thing I wanted to say about the open writing space. The JRS was the platform to allow the refugee friends to connect together and have this space together. So during the lockdown, we had the thought of connecting all the friends to this special space, open space, to express their feelings, show how talented they are in writing. And we are lucky to have Laila leading the session with us, led it. And we, in the end of this period, we have this beautiful, lovely book containing all of the writing of our refugee friends. Now I'm introducing to you Laila.
Hello everyone, lovely to be here today with you to celebrate Refugee Week and the launch of this really exciting and very special book by the Friends of JRS. And I think it's wonderful that the charity refers to the people they support as friends. I think that's quite rare. I've never heard of another charity doing that actually. So today we have some fantastic writers who are going to perform their work for you. You'll be hearing some stories, some poems, you'll be getting some recipes, some reflections on home, some reflections on the idea of peace, and there are lots of other exciting chapters in the book as well for you to explore. As Dallya mentioned, our writing group met online in the first or second lockdown. It feels a very long time ago, but basically when absolutely everything was shut, Dallya organized this writing space, and we came together to try and think of new ways to express ourselves. We started off by thinking about what story this teapot could tell us. And from there, we looked at paintings. We thought about what future generations might be experiencing. We wrote about the lockdown. We wrote about faith. We wrote about nature. We covered lots and lots of themes, and these were all voted for by the friends who were taking part in the group. Not all of the group can be with us today, but we have a fantastic group who are going to be sharing some work with you. So, just to test that we can all do a really nice warm applause, I would just like everyone to unmute and do a big round of applause for the friends who have contributed to this fantastic book. There we go. Excellent, excellent. Let's make sure we can keep that applause rolling throughout the performances. And of course, ideally, we'd be in a nice hall all together, probably with a big table of food, dishes from all around the world, so that we could properly celebrate the launch of this book and all of the words and cultures and communities that are coming together. But because we can't physically be in a room together having a banquet, I would like you all to think about what dish you would bring to a celebration of this book. So, what would be a dish? It could be a dessert, it could be a main course, it could be a snack, it could be your favourite chocolate bar. What dish would you bring to a celebration for our book launch? And I am going to put a link in the chat so that you can type in this dish, and we will see all of the different dishes that will be coming into our celebration. So the link is there. So if you click it, it should give you the option to put in one favourite dish, and I will show you. Let me just prepare this. So whilst you're thinking about the dishes, oh, I can see some dishes are already flying onto the table. Let's get a few more. So, let's see what's for dinner. Oh, we have some strawberry trifle, smoked salmon sandwiches, Irish stew, koshery, pozza. Apologies if I'm saying any of this wrong. Please give us more information about these dishes in the chat. Sauteed chicken. What else are we having for dinner? Can we have some more dishes on this table, please? Already it's looking like a fairly well-rounded meal. I'm hoping there'll be some ice cream because it's really stuffy here right now. Let's get a few more dishes on that table. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. More dishes flying in. And hopefully we will soon be able to celebrate all the food and cultures that bring and connect JRS together in an actual room somewhere. But until then, let's make do with this imaginary banquet. Excellent. Feel free to keep on adding dishes. Oh, we've got some more dishes coming in. Spicy chickpeas. Thank you very much for the spicy chickpeas. And we can take a little screenshot of this at the end to show what we've had together.
We've got some coming into the chat too, so I'm just going to read them out. So we've got a snack of roasted nuts, some roasted butternut squash in garlic and olive oil, guacamole, tabbouleh, Debbie, I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly, egg and salmon salad, mint and coconut sandwiches, chicken pad thai, ice cream, we were talking about ice cream earlier, Nigerian pepper soup, and chicken casserole.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness, we would eat for a week together. That is brilliant. Thank you, everyone. I will try and put those ideas into the thing so we've got the full menu on the board. Thank you so much. So that takes us very nicely into the first reading that we have. So we talked about what would our personal recipe be if we were a recipe. So we were thinking about what are the ingredients that make us up, makes us individuals, and what are the ingredients of our life. So we experimented with some recipe writing. So I would like us to give our very first warm round of applause to welcome onto the stage a JRS friend called EE, and she is going to be performing us her recipe poem. Let me just get the slides together. Let's get some applause happening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Just hunting for that slide. Here we go. And of course, this is one of the poems in the book, which you'll be able to get the link for very soon. Fantastic. EE, we would love to welcome you to the stage. Round of applause, please, everyone.
Thank you, thank you. I just would like to introduce myself first to you. I am Egyptian, and I decided to make a different meal, is meal of well-being. So if you try to close your eyes, I try to feel and understand my words and get relaxed. So the poem called My Meal. Take a 10 gram of warm blue sky, put it in a pan, and add 20 milliliter of birds singing freely. You can pour in a teaspoon of waterfall. Then mix it with a lovely ice cream. Keep it in the freezer with my best friend advice for 2 hours minimum. Get it out with fluffy cotton cloths. Then serve it on a glamorous dress, decorated with love and sophisticated jewelry. Eat it while writing a poem or drawing a picture. Enjoy your meal in our table of pleasure. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
So this opens a new chapter in the book. We have some really moving pieces on the theme of home. And the next writer who's going to help us explore that is Ben. A round of applause for Ben, please.
Hello, welcome. Welcome everyone. My name is Ben. I have been a friend and a volunteer with the JRS since 2016. I joined the JRS writing group during the first lockdown. It was quite an intense period for everyone. And we came together to put down some bit of writing. And this is one of it that I wrote. The title is, What is Home? I know so many people will think of home in so many different ways, but my take on this is on what is home is that some might suggest that north, south, east, and west, home is the best. Maybe so, but as you explore the vast world outside your front door, you learn that at home, nothing should remain the same. When you have sojourned for a long time, only to realize that you've ended up at a location which should feel like home, but is not, feelings of restriction and confinement begin to rekindle your cravings for home. That comforting tropical paradise that is not quite very comfortable. The land of rolling hills and endless green spaces, but where equity and justice are desperately lacking in the general scheme of things. I still reflect on the chasm between my residential abode and the commercial property where I spend most of my days. One is of such blissful serenity and tranquility. You wake to the lovely sound of birds singing and reassuring sounds of laughter. But the other is my daytime home of sorts, a constant beehive of human activity. My office overlooks a very busy square, the scene of never-ending hustle and bustle by fellow West Africans struggling to make ends meet. I would usually step out onto the balcony to observe the chaotic scene on the street below. At one corner is usually this young, harassed-looking mother with her child strapped to her back. She carries on her business of roasting plantain and yam. Sometimes she will have butter pears and sachets of freshly roasted peanuts, all resting gingerly atop her busy work table. The gentle mid-afternoon breeze will teasingly spread that irresistible, delicious aroma of slow cooking fruits, nuts, and vegetables, alluringly beckoning the steady flow of human traffic to patronize her. Slowly but steadily, they begin to mingle and jostle in a disorderly queue, all demanding to be served first. But her tiny shop is not the only eating joint around. You will find a generous mix of bukateria and mama put restaurants dotted all over, with their food is ready sign, cluttering the already chaotic landscape. It is unforgettable at lunchtime in my home, with the food bazaar exploding into action and with all sorts of exotic dishes on offer. You will be spoiled for choice. Home, sweet home, certainly. But at home, it is also impossible to ignore the overcrowded slums, the festering open sewers, the cry of hungry children, or the brazen boldness of rampant health rent seekers, and the decaying public infrastructure. Can you even imagine how difficult it is to turn a blind eye to a repressive and corrupt regime that slaughters her own citizens? However, I derive little comfort from the fact that I do try to add value to the conversations at home, even from the fragile safety of my new home. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. A round of applause for Ben, please, everyone. Thank you. Such a fantastic, moving journey into multitudes of home, taking us across borders and really teaching us, Ben, about what home feels like when you have two homes, a home that sometimes you can't return to or is difficult to return to, and a home that you're trying to make and build for yourself as well. A really powerful piece. And I'm sure there's lots there that you'd love to go back and read over. And that's why the book will be a fantastic thing to buy. And there's so much more in there to try and discover about the different conceptions of home and what it really means to people. Fantastic. Oh, lovely to see lots in the chat about some of the lines people enjoy. There's some beautiful lines in these pieces, aren't there? So my next challenge to you, we've just finished the first half, so we've had some fantastic pieces of writing from EE, Han and Ben, and now it's over to you, to the audience. I would like you to complete the sentence. I'm just going to put this in the chat. Home is ... Have a little think about what home is to you. Maybe it's a smell of your favourite dish. Maybe it's a comfy sofa. Maybe it's the sound of someone in your household. Think about what home is to you. And let's have a few lines in the chat and let's try and create a group poem reflecting on what home is. Let's have a look at what we've got. So we have silly inside jokes and dances. Home is a peaceful place. Home is books around me. Home is mum's perfume and embrace. Home is where my heart is. Home is where my loved ones are gathered. Home is where my love is. Home is the shape of a shelter I make inside myself. Oh, this is a fantastic poem, everyone. We should publish this. Home is where my loved one is and heart. Fantastic. Keep it going, everyone. There's some wonderful lines here. Home is a warm feeling and welcome hug. Home is where I feel welcomed. That's brilliant. And of course, the title of the book, Home is a Feeling. And you guys are really exploring this fantastically. Home is kids and grandkids enjoying one another in society or in sociality. Fantastic. So many wonderful lines here. I would love us to gather this all together into a poem. That is fantastic. Keep them going. If you have more ideas throughout the second half, then put them into the chat as we continue to explore different ideas of home. Brilliant. So that takes us, oh, we've just had another one. Home is where you dream to go and relax after a very busy or stressful day or time. That leads us nicely to some of the pieces we're going to hear. Home is where I relax and can just be. Fantastic. Not needing to pretend to be anyone else, just being yourself. Brilliant. So let's open up the second half. We have some more writers coming to perform for us today. And the first writer who will be opening the second half is Mohammed, who is going to be sharing a poem on the theme of home. Home is a sigh of relief. Here we go. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah. I apologise. Let me just find the right... This is bizarre. 1 second. Apologies. There seems to be a bit of a mistake. Here we go. There we go. The slides got a bit jumbled up. And let's welcome Mohammed to the stage. Let's try that again. Round of applause for Mohammed.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Laila, giving me the floor. I am Mohammed Alam. I'm a blogger, an online activist, and a journalist. I love poetry and creative activity of JRS. You already explained what is home, and my poem is all about home. I wrote this poem for obvious reason. I became homeless in the first lockdown and miss my mother back home badly. As a destitute, I know the value of 4 walls than anybody else. Now let me recite the poem of mine.
Ooh.
Okay. Home is where affection calls. I don't have my own room at all. Home sweet home is a proverb. I don't know when I will deserve it. The WHO urged us to stay at home. I searched for somewhere that is my room. I share my friends like an unwanted guest. He shared it upon my request. A homeless person knows the value of 4 walls. A homesick person is in a state of perpetual quarrel. My mother was my home. I found solace when she stayed in my room. I found solace when she stayed in my room. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mohammed. A round of applause for that incredibly moving and concise poem, which says so much so powerfully. Do put your favourite lines in the chat so that the writers can see the lines that speak to you. Thank you so much for all of the support from our wonderful online audience that you are sharing with our friends. Now let us move back. So there we go. Still on the theme of home, I would like to welcome our next writer to the stage. Omar has been working with us in the second open writing space, where we've also been looking at letter writing, CV writing, job applications, blogs and reviews. And he has kindly offered to read a poem written by another friend who couldn't be here today, called Easton. Omar, over to you. A round of applause for Omar.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am happy to be here today. My name is Omar Saeed. I am from Eritrea. I love to meditate and discover new places. I always miss back home, but change and challenge have better taste for me. Easton was born in February 1931. He was born of mixed hearted. He spent his early years several villages and towns. He's a dramatist and actor and photography and a media personality. He is deeply involved in Jamaican art and culture life. The universal feel of home is when you are away. You always feel as if home the best place to be. You missed out on a lot, but your new features are always good because there is knowledge and experience. You can take back home, different culture, different people. You can to new places, you see people resembling folks back home. Home is always a wonderful place, but anywhere you are, you should be able to make your home a place to your a place to rise comfort, to think of it ready. There are times I missed the sense of real home, cooked dishes and roasted fish, roasted breadfruit, the ackee and salted fish, carry goat, and manage water, the fun of party with real reggae music. But as I said, a bit of Rome is good for home. Easton.
Thank you very much, Omar. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for introducing Easton as well with a little biography of him. That was fantastic. And what a great way to end. A bit of Rome is good for home. And again, so many fantastic dishes that we're discovering and being able to taste through these poems. Okay, so please put your hands together again to welcome up our next writer who will be sharing work with us today. She is called Elizabeth. A big round of applause for Elizabeth.
I'm Elizabeth from DRC. I was attempting to join JRS activities during the lockdown. So I just learned about how to make some poetry. The title is Home, Home, Home. Did I say home? Yes. Home is where your heart, mind, brain, focus is, and where we should always be after each day work. The more you live in the morning, the more you feel something is out of you. The closer it gets to the end of the day, the happier you feel about going home, especially with the necessary smell of a traditional vegetable stew with different types of meats and stockfish and smelly locust beans. Wow. Yummy, isn't it? You wouldn't want to miss it, especially with a nice pounded yam and fresh palm wine to wash it down your tummy. As you go home, you hear the sound of grandchildren waiting at the door to greet you, ringing in your ears. Welcome, Grandma. The shout of stop it, be careful, etc. makes you feel nostalgia. East or west, home is the best. Getting home and seeing the beautiful decoration you design yourself and which came out nice gives you peace, and you then say to yourself, I'm home. Just be calm. The feeling of peace all around you is from looking forward to going home. East or west, home is the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. A round of applause for Elizabeth, please. Keep on putting those favourite lines in the chat. I love that detail that you have, Elizabeth, about the decorations, how you can make somewhere feel special because you've crafted something lovely that you're really proud of. And I could see everything you were talking about in your poem really clearly. Wonderful stuff. So this takes us, I think, to our final writer. Let me just move the slides. And our final writer today is taking us into another theme that we have in our collection. And this is the theme of peace, another really important theme when it comes to celebrating and reflecting upon Refugee Week. And we all know the importance of both peace in the world and sort of peace within ourselves as well. And there's a lot of really beautiful words in the book on this very important theme. And I wish we could have had a giant book because there was so much amazing work from all of the writers who have contributed. But I'm really proud of the work they did, editing their text, experimenting with short stories and poems and different styles of writing, and really supporting each other as a group of writers too. So please give a warm round of applause for our final performer tonight. It's Margaret.
Good evening, all. I'm Margaret from Nigeria. I like my voice being heard and not forgotten, and I love traveling and meeting new people. I joined JRS about 2 years ago and started the piece with them in the first serious lockdown. That's why you can see me this evening. What does peace mean to you? To the best of my knowledge, I can describe peace as calmness of the mind, the state of being in a cool worryless of the heart. According to my religion, according to my religion, peace is one of the fruits of the spirit, which doesn't naturally come, but is only given by God and should be desired, or one should have it every time within oneself and with others. And there's a song that goes with it. I've got a peace like a river, peace like a river, peace like a river in my soul. I've got a peace like a river, peace like a river, peace like a river in my soul. Peace is like the calmness of the sea, especially very early in the morning. Everything will be fresh and cool. No noise, no disturbances. This is how we as human beings should live with each other. Anyone that has a genuine peace will be healthy, as the person will not be worrisome. The person will not be depressed and be happy with everything they do and at every time. Peace cannot be faked, neither can it be pretended. Peace is natural. Peace makes one beautiful because people say, the more you are happy, the more you live long. In peace, you have joy, good relationship with all, compassion, and unending love. You don't go moody and angry with peace in you. Well, whenever I'm at peace, I reason very well. I seem to appreciate God that I serve, and I pray, especially to hear God speaking to me in a very cool environment. It's good to have peace and be at peace with all mankind. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being at peace with all. God of peace be with you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Margaret. A round of applause for Margaret, please, everyone. Thank you so much to all of our performers. And thank you to Margaret for that last piece. I hope you were all swaying along with the music. Maybe some of you were joining in as well. So many important reflections in the stories and poems from our friends today. So we have heard from E, Ben, Mohammed, Elizabeth, Amma, and Margaret. A big round of applause for all of the performers today. It's a big deal as a writer, sharing your work, not only in print, but also performing to an audience. And I look forward to the day when we can have a microphone in a room. Maybe we'll have a table with some of that lovely food, and we can all sit and listen to these really powerful poems and stories. Thank you so much for all of the fantastic comments in the chat. Lots of lines that people have really connected with. Really wonderful to see all this work is really reaching you. And yes, a final thank you to all the writers who have contributed to the open writing space with JRS, and of course to Dallya for making it all happen and really being passionate about making a space for writing in amongst all of the busyness that we're all facing these days. So I hope people have found something to inspire them. I hope people have found some peace in these words. And yes, I'd like to hand over to Nick and his colleagues for a few final comments.
Thank you very much, Laila, and thank you all of you for being with us this evening and for joining us for what I think you'll agree was a wonderful event. Our friends being able to share their skills and their talents with us, and particularly they've made me very hungry, I must say. The aromas and the scents that were coming through, the tastes. I wish I could only cook as well as they described the food in their work. And lovely to have Margaret singing for us as well. Thank you for that, Margaret. Thank you to you, Laila, for hosting this evening and for all the work you've done with our open writing space. Thank you, Dallya, for all your work in preparing for this evening, and of course everything that you do for arranging our activities. And a big thank you as well to all the other JRS staff who've been involved in this evening, who have been helping to put the book together, which has been wonderful. And of course, the biggest thank you of all goes to our friends, our poets and our writers. They are now officially published, performing, and we're so grateful for them. So perhaps just one last very big round of applause for them. And as Laila said, hopefully it will be the time soon that we can do something like this again in person and get to spend time with you and with everyone who's been here this evening. As we've said, we've have our open writing space book. A place is a feeling, a home is a feeling, not a place. Mixing my words up there. You can get it on our Refugee Gifts site. So it's available to purchase for £10. So that £10 will go to supporting the work of JRS and helping us continue to put on activities like open writing space and allowing our friends to have the space to explore their own creativity and share their talents and skills. You can see there's a link in the chat that you can follow to get your hands on the book. It's a beautiful book. It'll be look perfect on a coffee table. We work perfectly as a gift. I'm very excited to get my hands on a copy, and of course it's to be enjoyed. So please do take a look over some of the pieces we've heard tonight. There's plenty more pieces in there as well that we didn't have time to perform this evening, but it'll be perfect for anybody who loves poetry or who wants to explore some of those themes that we've discussed tonight. So please do buy not just one copy, buy hundreds of copies, send them out to all your loved ones and friends, and we'll be very, very grateful for that. As we said, it's Refugee Week for the rest of this week, so do something to celebrate. If you know a refugee, perhaps give thanks for the gift of knowing them and the contribution they've made to your life. We'll have plenty of other things going on our social media you can take a look at. Of course, visit our website, see what else is going on and the different ways that you can support the work of JRS. And we're really glad that you were with us this evening. We want you to continue helping us to accompany our refugee friends. We do have another event on this week. So we are having a prayer service on World Refugee Day itself. So that's Sunday, and it's going to be at 6 o'clock. And we'll be having just a short service to come together to pray for refugees. And we hope you're able to join us. We'll also be launching a new examine prayer, which is a type of Ignatian spirituality. the Jesuits, of course, who we take our name from and who we are closely related to, the work of the Jesuits of Britain, type of their spirituality. So we hopefully we'll see you there if that's your kind of thing. And do, as I say, take a look at what else is going on during Refugee Week, so that you can mark such an important occasion in our calendar year. And I think the only thing for me left to say once again is just thank you for joining us, and I hope you go and have some delicious dinner to make up for all those beautiful tastes we've heard from this evening. Thank you all very much for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon, hopefully in person at some point. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Useful, right?
You can close your finishing. Thank you very much anyway.